guys, how you doing? This is Jake, and this is the podcast about everything. I'm not alone on this one. I'm not going to be alone on any of these ones, actually. I'd like to introduce my co-host. Actually, I'm not even going to call him that. I think I'm going to call him a partner in podcast. Joe, say hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone, and hello to you, Jake. Thank you very much for that quite wonderful introduction. And I'm really excited about this podcast that we're putting together here, Jake. This is an exciting time.
Yeah, we've been talking about it for a while now, and now we're actually, put it into practice. This is the pilot. We'll do this and we'll put it out, and certain people will have a little focus group or something like that, and we'll see what sort of response we get. How you been anyway, Joe? You all right?
I'm doing okay under the circumstances. I could give you a few words. I could say that I'm feeling frustrated. I can say that I'm feeling a little bit lost within the current circumstances surrounding us. And when I say us, I mean, well, humanity, I suppose, which I'm sure we'll go into a bit more detail later. But at the same time, I'm feeling safe. I'm feeling secure in the knowledge that my loved ones are safe as well. And yes, I think by its very nature, this podcast, I'm in one part of Hertfordshire, and you're in a completely different area to me, and we're having to do this over the internet because, of course, we're going through a stage now where we can't really leave our house. So yes, it's an interesting time, but generally I'm doing okay. I've been better, but I'm doing okay. Jake, how are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. All things considered, it's a Saturday night. I'm sitting in my living room talking to a friend of mine who's all the way in another county to me, you might even say. Sipping a Strongbow Cloudy Apple. Don't really drink much, but give it a go.
How's it tasting?
It's all right. I don't think I should be drinking too many of these because I think I'll start slurring my words soon. And this is a bit better, to be honest. So maybe I will have 3 or 4, maybe 5. Who knows?
Well, you never know. The more you drink, the better the pod could get, Jake.
Don't say that because I'll start doing shots of tequila soon. There's a bottle of Jägermeister behind me, and it's just saying, have a little bit. I might do. I'm not sure. So, as I was saying, let's get to the very sort of foundations of the podcast. Originally, me and Joe were sitting there one night having a chat, both in our early 30s, 32, 33. And we were talking about things changing and whatnot. And, sometimes we get, a little bit overwhelmed by certain things changing. And it was like, well, we can't be the only ones feeling like this. Maybe we should do a lifestyle podcast talking about people going through certain chapters of their life where things are changing. And that doesn't mean you're in your 30s or your 40s or your 20s or your 50s, wherever. You could be going through a stage where, there's different chapters in your life where you don't know how to navigate through. And we thought, well, maybe we could start a podcast. People might be able to, into us, give us ideas, give us their ideas, things like that. So we're trying to put it in motion. I do apologise for any sound quality issues. We are operating via the internet. But if it picks up and things start moving forward, we'll invest a little bit more into, getting the right equipment. But yeah, this is just the pilot right now. So yeah, that's basically it.
And I think, in addition to what Jake's saying there, it's a curious time, under the circumstances. And when I talk about circumstances, of course, I'm referring directly to COVID-19 or coronavirus or, this pandemic that we're experiencing. And, it's funny, it puts things into perspective. And from that initial conversation that we had about those different parts of life, those changes that take place, those steps, and I suppose the expectation that's put upon you as an individual to reach certain milestones by certain ages, be it buying a house or getting married or having children and so on. I think that there has been a huge, massive reset button that's just been pressed when it comes to what's expected of people and stages of life. and lots of things at the moment are being put into perspective because of this pandemic. And well, perhaps this is the right moment, the right time for this type of podcasts, for me and you, Jake, to share our thoughts, our knowledge with the world, because this pretty soon, hopefully, things are going to be back on track. People will be able to leave their houses again. People are going to be able to take those next steps again that they're looking to do. And if we can share some insight throughout that journey, then I think that's a great thing. I hope you agree.
Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree. And another sort of effect of this whole Corona COVID-19 thing is that there's a lot of businesses suffering. So when we do come out the other side of this, I know between me and you, we know a lot of one-man bands or just people who own their own businesses, startups, very, very new businesses in different sectors of the community. And who knows, if this podcast takes off, we could have them on as guests. They could talk about their business, their products, what they're doing. And that may be a stepping stone for them to help them rebuild and, some of the damage has been caused by this awful situation.
And I think it will be great for individuals, but not only that, for hopefully our audience, the people listening to us, to be able to understand about maybe, like you said, new products, new services, things that are going to help support people through those big moments and maybe even those slightly smaller moments in their lives, but those life-changing moments, those steps as you go along. So yeah, fantastic. I'm looking forward to meeting with some of these guests.
Good. Now, let's crack on and get down to business, shall we? So, the subject of this podcast, as we mentioned before, is the whole Corona thing, the COVID-19. More so, the self-isolation, quarantine, lockdown part of it. So tonight is Saturday, April 4th. We've been on lockdown for, how long is it now, Joe? Is it a week and a half? Nearly 2 weeks?
Yeah, coming up to 2 weeks, I suppose. Yeah, week and a half.
Okay, cool. And obviously from home and whatnot, you've got key workers still out. And what's interesting is that me and Joe fall on both sides of that spectrum. Joe is currently working from home. I work in the food industry, which makes me a key worker. So, we're just going to share our experiences right now and what's been happening. So, Joe, working from home, how you been finding it?
Well, Jake, I must say my initial reaction to finding out I was going to have to be working at home was, in one sense, a relief because, of course, the virus is spreading, and if non-essential travel is frowned upon, then I thought it was best, for everybody really involved to isolate in that way and be working from home. But I was feeling a bit down about the fact of not seeing my colleagues every day, not being in that social environment. Quite often, for a lot of people particularly people maybe who are working full time, you spend more time with your colleagues than you do even your family, your loved ones. So in reality, you build bonds, and positive, negative, there's a social interaction. And I think I was going to really miss that. And part of working from home and being self-isolated, you get a chance to restock, and actually you become very aware of actually how much work you do when you're not being distracted or distracting other people through your actions. So there are pros, there are cons. I probably appreciating it, enjoying it more than I thought I was going to. I'm not sure it will last. I imagine if we're staying locked up like this for a period of time, then there's a good chance I am eventually going to get a bit bored and a bit lonely. But so far, I must say, I could do this. I could work from home a bit more regularly than what I've done in the past. And I bought my first house with my partner, and she's working full time. She's a key worker like yourself, Jake. She works for the NHS. She's working shifts. So luckily, we're not getting on each other's nerves, spending too much time with each other, which definitely helps. But luckily we get along, and we've not lived here very long, so it's still in that honeymoon period of living together. So things are going quite well. So yes. How are you finding, as a key worker, Jake, going to work every day still?
It's difficult, for a few different reasons. The first one is that I would quite like to work from home. And I'll be totally honest, when I see everyone else working and I hear them moaning about it, oh yeah, it just gets boring. All I do, I go to the kitchen and come back to like the living room, or like I'm just like I might step out for like half an hour and that. I'm just like, what are you moaning at? That sounds lovely to me. Now,
Mm.
once again, I don't know if that says a lot about me as a person, where maybe I'm a bit sort of hermit-ish in some ways. But yeah, the job can get quite stressful. And when I think about, oh, well, I could be at home without the stress of the office with people around me bothering me, much like you.
Mm.
And I'm just like, yeah, that sounds absolutely fantastic. But unfortunately, I do work in the food sector. The nation still needs feeding. We're a food processor, packer, manufacturer, whatever you want to call us. Yeah, so it's a job that needs to be done. Although I did get a lot of joy the other day. What we did was we put together some small boxes. So we are a salad packers and growers, hard salads, cucumbers, tomatoes, peppers, that type of thing. Anyway, so we made some boxes up and we delivered them to the local village that I live in, to all the vulnerable and the self-isolating and the elderly and whatnot. And we put it on the local Facebook page. And you know what? We got a great response out of it. It was really good.
That's superb.
So many nice comments. So many people saying, like, oh, you've really helped us out. So grateful. Some people were even offering to come and help us with work if we needed it, because staffing can be an issue for us at the moment.
Mm.
So people, putting their praise to us, they're on their help, and I actually felt a lot of joy from that. So that aspect of it was really great. The fact I still have to get up at 6:30 every morning to go into work, whilst everyone else is not getting up to 9, maybe not even getting out of their pajamas. I have to still go to work. Yeah, that's really annoying. I'm really finding that hard to swallow. But it's the business I'm in, and it's just it's one of those things. No one saw the situation happening. We're here now. We're just trying to get on with it, and do the best we can to help keep everything running smoothly. But yeah, it's just two sides of the coin, I guess. I suppose we're lucky that we're on either side and we can give our own sort of opinions on it all. One question I did have for you though.
Mm.
There's been a lot of talk in the media and the news lately about people working from home, having to be some people on their own a lot, and it affecting their mental health. Do you see that happening with you at all, or do you think you've got it locked down, where you've got like a routine sorted out where it keeps you occupied constantly? What are your thoughts on that?
I can imagine there being massive issues, not just in this country, globally, with mental health issues off the back of this self-isolation. And yeah, I think for me personally, I'm doing my best to stay in a routine. I think it's knowing yourself, what makes your brain tick, and that's a really hard thing to do. And I think for most people, they might not be aware. And I'm happy to say, in the past, I've had times in my life where maybe I've suffered with stress or anxiety over certain things. And over a period of years, you get to learn, you get to understand actually which things are going to act like triggers to this. So for me, routine is a massive thing. I really appreciate, like you said, you're having to get up every morning, same time, 6:30, and you're hearing people getting up later and staying in their pajamas. Me, I get up the same time as I was doing when I was traveling to the office. I'm getting dressed, I'm getting out of those that nightwear. Well, in my case, I'll be perfectly honest, basically I'm putting clothes on because I'm not wearing that much to bed. Just underwear is present. I'm sorry, underwear is present, but besides that, I'm gonna have to be honest and say, I'm putting clothes on.
Just took a very, very dark turn.
Well, but
just got a little bit juicy.
So but I'm making those steps to kind of keep my routine going. I'm working doing my best to work the hours that I can work. I mean, I'm in recruitment. It's a very hard time for us at the moment. I think for me, the biggest thing is the morale side of things and keeping busy throughout the day. I know if I stop, if I lose my routine, if I don't keep my mind busy, I probably will become lazy. I'll become probably introverted within the thoughts that I'm having, and that will affect my mental health. So for me, I'm trying to stay focused, keep my routine, get that daily exercise that we're allowed to have, and actually all the other things which I'm sure we're going to come on to throughout this podcast. So that's how I'm coping. And off the back of that, I mean, for you guys,
Good.
and I'd say actually you're in an advantage, Jake. You've still got that continuity. Do you feel that you're at an advantage?
In that sense, yeah. To me, I don't feel anything's changed. It's still business as usual. The job is a little bit more difficult due to certain constraints we have now with all the the social distancing and the levels of protection has just gone higher, stuff like that. Everyone's a little bit more careful of what they're doing. I'm at an advantage in that sense, yeah, because I'm sticking to my routine. To me, other than the fact that I can't really go out anywhere after work, nothing's really changed, if you know what I mean. I think in that sense you're right. When this is all finally over, and that can't come quick enough, may I say, and people who have been off for, I don't know, a month, 2 months, maybe 3, have to then start going back to a daily routine where they've got to go in the office, maybe, like you said, go and have to interact with people they don't really want to interact with, stuff like that. Yeah, I think they're going to find it difficult. But I don't know, maybe, just maybe, people might even start to miss that. And they'll want to go back to, they'll be, just gagging to go back to the office. And people may not work from home less because they've had so much of it in the past few months. So you're right. I think keeping to my routine, I have got that advantage where I will not be finding it difficult to go back to the way things were, because in a way nothing's actually changed for me. I would say I've got an advantage in that case. Yeah, you're right. Mm-hmm.
Well, I've got some questions for you, Jake, which I would love to know. And I'm hoping we can share a bit of advice as we go through these questions, which may help people fill up their day, maybe give them stuff to start to think about the things that they might want to look forward to once these issues start to subside. So, are you ready?
Oh, hit me.
Okay, so my first question to you. What is the one thing you miss the most during this lockdown?
I would say it's the general feeling of just freedom. Me and my partner, we don't live in the same house yet. So obviously we don't really get to see each other at the moment. I think I saw her today actually, and I said to her, look, I need to go shopping. She said, so does she. So we saw each other, but it was weird because we spent the whole time in the supermarket together, standing 2 meters apart, as government guidelines say, still having a conversation, and very odd. And even she said, this is really odd. But it was nice sort of just to see each other in person. And I can imagine there's a lot of other people in that position who maybe don't live together yet, or maybe they've started a new relationship, so they've been going on for a couple of months, and then now they've been hit with this. It's kind of a tough thing, but yeah, I would say, as well as not being able to see my partner when I like, my actual general sense of freedom has in a way been taken away from me. I can't do nothing now. I can't go out, can't go to the gym, can't go out for something to eat, can't meet up with my friends for a drink. Can't go to the cinema to see a movie. I love seeing movies. It's one of my favorite things. Just can't do any of that. So yeah, I would say it's definitely the lack of freedom. How about you?
Well, for me, I think the thing I miss the most probably is sport, and not being able to have sport on the television. I enjoy watching all kinds of sport. Pretty much if there's something on, I will watch it. So to have that missing, have a massive chunk of your life missing like that, really, which is my main form of entertainment, it's been a big loss for me. And I cannot buy into it. I tell you right now, okay, these sports channels, I'm not going to mention any in particular, and actually some terrestrial channels, they're putting on these classic matches, classic football matches, for example. Look at this great game. 1997, where this team beat another team 4-3, and we're going to pretend that you're watching it for the first time, and we're going to tweet about it, and we're going to put clips on about it, and we're going to commentate on it like it's happening for the first time, and you're just going to sit there and enjoy it and pretend. No, I'm not interested. I know the result. That is not sport, okay? That is old sport. That's a different thing, a different category.
Yeah.
Now, old sport, there is a place for old sport, and I do enjoy
Yeah.
watching the old clip, but to sit there and watch 90 minutes of a football match that happened 10, 15, 20, and longer ago is not particularly entertaining for me. Okay, show me the goals or show me the penalty save or show me something or highlight, but I'm not going to sit there and watch the whole thing. It's boring. I know the result, and the majority of the cases I've seen exactly what's happened in the game.
Yeah, no,
before.
I agree. So if by any, what act of God this podcast reaches anybody in the entertainment industry who's connected to any of these channels, both terrestrial and, based on satellite, Sky, whatever you want to call it, stop showing this old crap. People don't want to see it. All right. We want fresh stuff. Do you know what? Just don't say anything at all. Big Joe, just don't say nothing.
Well, if you're going to show anything, show me you know what I want to see? I want to see the VHS videos that I used to get when I was about 10 years old. So going back a good 20 odd years ago, which were like football gaffs, right? I want to see football gaffs. I want to see the fat goalkeeper in the goal trying to make some sort of dive and falling on his backside, trying to get up like a turtle that's stuck on its shell. I want to see the football gaff videos. I want to see the great goals,
Right.
101 best goals of 2007. But I'd be quite happy to watch the old VHSs. Yeah, football gaffs. Bring that in. That's what, Jake, I want you to sort that out for me, okay? I want you to arrange the football gaffs.
What? I mean, I'll do my best, but
that's all I ask, Jake.
I don't think I'm capable of such things, but because it's for you, I'll try my best. All right?
Okay.
Do they even have a VHS player? I don't know. Do you still have one?
I got one. Yeah, I bought one a few years ago, purely to transfer all of my old VHSs onto DVD, and that is still waiting to happen. And I've had that VHS for about 4 years. Bought it on eBay. It's a VHS and DVD combo. The DVD part does not work, but the VHS works.
Right.
So maybe I could do that during my quarantine. Maybe I can transfer all my VHS cassettes onto DVD.
I was going to say, there you go. Well, go for it. Just do it. I mean, it's not like you haven't got time. Do it.
I do have one slight issue, though. All my VHS cassettes are at my parents' house. So I will not be doing that during this quarantine period, unfortunately.
I mean, can you not ask your mum to send them to you, or your dad to send them to you, or just do like a contactless delivery? You can just sort of turn up to your door, ring the doorbell, and just scarf her.
I could. There's a slight issue. There is multiple VHS cassettes, okay? And part of the issue is some of them have got things written on them. Yeah. Some of them do not have anything written on them. So I think it's one of those jobs where if they're going to send, they probably have to send all like 300 VHS to me, and I have to go through them with a fine-tooth comb to find the ones I actually need and want. So, and I'm not sure how much that would cost in shipping either.
So wait a minute, you've got 300 VHSs at your house. 300.
I may have exaggerated slightly, but there's quite a lot of VHS. I've never counted them, but there's quite a lot of VHS. I mean, home movies, things recorded off the telly. I once had a VHS, okay? This was like the best VHS. It had on there, not only did it have Total Recall, I'm talking about the Arnie Total Recall, it also had, straight after that, Terminator 2, Judgment Day. Terminator 2, Judgment Day, Total Recall, all on one VHS, all recorded off of the telly, with the commercials still in the middle of the program. That was a great VHS. And I don't need to record that, but that was a great VHS. I'm just putting it out there. Probably the finest VHS I've ever seen.
There you go, guys. Joe made an Arnie box set before Arnie box set was even a thing. With adverts included. See? A pioneer, what I say.
I'm sorry about that. I went a little bit off subject there, but...
Actually, I'm going a bit off topic, but do you remember when you used to like take stuff from VHS and like you'd sit there watching the film because not to the film, but you're watching it for the advert, so you would stop it when the adverts were on, let them go, then bam, you have to sort of start it again, just to cut it out of the film.
And also on that subject, okay, because you grew up watching these films off the telly, and we're talking about a time here before Netflix, before the internet. All you had was really 3 channels, 4 channels on telly if you didn't have Sky.
Eventually on came Channel 5 though, like in the mid-90s I think it was, which wasn't that great to start with.
The only good thing about Channel 5 in the late 90s, early 2000s was Friday night around about 11 p.m. And anyone who knows will know. But it did involve classics such as Ups and Downs of a Handyman. So, but yeah, I mean the things
I was actually telling my girlfriend about this the other day. She couldn't believe what I was telling her.
Oh, you better believe it. I was sort of like, you gotta believe. You have to see it to believe. Well, don't see it, please. Don't watch it. But yeah, it's etched into my mind.
Look, guys, all I can say was for as bad as it was still kind of classy.
It was all we had. Basically, is the point I think we're trying to make. It was all we had, so we had to make the most of it. But the thing I was going to say, I don't know if this ever happened to you. I grew up watching a film that was recorded off the telly on VHS. The years and years and years. So one example of this is the film Goonies, right? One of my favorite all-time films, Goonies.
Love it.
Probably about 2-3 years ago, my sister bought me the DVD for Christmas. I watched the film, and there are whole scenes in that film that I had never ever witnessed, because the VHS we recorded off the telly had been trimmed and edited for that particular television show, particular channel, a particular time of day when it was shown. There are whole scenes I'd never seen. And that was quite a shock to me. You know, I thought I knew this film inside out, and all of a sudden, you know, there's characters and actions that happen I never knew about. I don't know, does that ever happen to you?
Actually, it did. Right, okay, this is quite a funny story. Did you ever watch a film called, I think it was Double Impact, with Jean-Claude Van Damme in it?
Oh yeah. Where he's like, there's two of him in the film, right?
It was
plays two characters.
Yeah, there's two of him, but they're not. Yeah, and they're like twin brothers or something. Like one of them is like a good guy. I think he's like, I don't know if he's like a policeman or a soldier or something. And the second, his brother, who is also him, is like a bad guy. He's like a gangster or something. He's involved in the criminal underworld. Anyway, I remember watching it for the first time with one of my cousins, and I was only about, I don't know, 10 or 11. I was like, this film's great. It's fantastic. Martial arts, action, everything, great. So anyway, about a year, maybe 6 months later, it was on again on TV, and was all around my auntie's house, all watching it. About 10 relatives there, and I was like, guys, this film is so good. This is great. I love it. And they were all watching it. They were like so happy. I was excited for this film. And then we're watching it, everyone's having a good time, everyone's enjoying it. And then it hit. There was a sex scene in it, and I knew nothing about it.
Oh, baby.
And that was the most awkward thing I had to experience at 10, 11 years old in front of 10 family members. John Van Damme sticking it to some blonde. And literally, I had no idea it was even, but I felt, I don't know, I wanted the ground to swallow me up. That's probably the most embarrassing sort of memory to date.
And all of a sudden, your aunties and uncles all knew why you enjoyed the film so much, right?
Yeah, I know, and I couldn't even really defend it, because no matter what I said, it just made me look like just
like
dirty.
like a pervert, basically.
It was just horrible. Yeah, but like I said, I was innocent in the fact that the version I saw, Prestige, did not have that scene in it. So yes, Joe, I've also been the victim of a film that's been cut, reshown as the full film. It was not great. I will not be doing that again.
But funny you mentioned there that one of your favourite films as a kid was about martial arts, and this is because you have a background in martial arts, don't you, Jake?
No, I wouldn't go that far. I almost got a black belt, but that didn't, you know, that didn't mean you're some sort of fighting machine. Anyway, we're going off topic here, all right? I know what you're doing. Stop throwing me curveballs, please.
I just want people to know about your history of Taekwondo.
Anyway, that was a long time ago. I was like 16.
You're pretty good, though,
man,
you know.
33 even. What am I talking about?
Give yourself credit, you know, it's pretty good. Well, you're saying you can still, I'm pretty sure you could still defend yourself right now if you know, some, I don't know, some madman tried to get within 2 meters of you.
This is what we were taught, though. If some guy tries to approach you with a weapon, we were told just to run away, don't fight him. So I don't know. I don't know if that was the instructor trying to keep us safe. I'm not sure.
What was
never really evenly matched? We were never really evenly matched either.
How did you get black belt? See how fast you could run the 100 meters.
Basically, yeah. But actually, I didn't even get to black belt. I was one underneath it. But anyway, we were never evenly matched. I was 14, 15 years old, 16 at a push later in the years. And I was fighting like grown men who were like in their 30s. Did not go easy. They kicked their shit out. I got left, right, all like thrown about the place.
Oh my goodness, Jake! This needs to be your new life's ambition. I mean, you were one away. You were so close. I think by the time this podcast goes
I
to air,
know.
you need to re-enroll in some kind of online taekwondo course. You need to get that black belt, Jake. It could be done. This should be your. Why is this not your ambition in life?
Basically, what had happened was, right, I got my like one from black belt when I was about 16, 17. And I was crossing over to that age where, I was starting to go out, I was starting to drive, better interest to sort of come into my life, and I sort of just threw the whole martial arts experience. So I was like, nah, I'm just going to concentrate on having a good time. And that's what happened. I never went back. I don't think I will go back because I have to start from bottom again. I'm just not doing it. I'm too old.
Okay, well, fair enough. But on that point, you have just made me think, if there's anyone out there who hasn't seen it yet and you're a fan of the Karate Kid films, Cobra Kai, you can find it on YouTube. I think you have to subscribe, but I definitely recommend it. But yes, we have digressed quite somewhat in this podcast, which is
Yes.
always a sign of a good podcast, I think, Jake.
But you've also brought me on to my next with all this time on our hands, what we're using to entertain ourselves. Me, myself, I have been watching a bit of Netflix, and something that which I think probably a lot of people are going to be familiar with now, even by the time this podcast comes out, is The Tiger King. And I've got to say, it is the weirdest, wackiest, just most entertaining, trashy thing I've ever seen in my life. But I love it. It's literally from the like. Have you seen it, Joe? I'm not sure. I think you said you've seen it.
I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it till the end, and Jake, I agree with you. It is absolutely bizarre.
Yeah.
Netflix they're making a real, I suppose, a tradition, a habit of detailing these incredible stories of, generally speaking, Americans. I mean, I don't know if you've seen Making a Murderer in a similar vein. In the sense that there are people who are in prison, and we are sort of finding out the story that gets them to that point. But Tiger King, wow! I mean, have you even seen ever even? I mean, I was watching it and I was thinking to myself, if somebody had written this, if somebody had made it up, I would be looking at this saying, these characters are not believable. This is ridiculous. Why would I buy into a TV show like this?
I agree.
But when you realise these are real people, I mean, you're left shocked. No.
Yep. You just can't believe what you see. I mean, I'll be honest. For people who haven't seen it yet, let's sort of describe it. So, I'd say it's got three main characters in it. The main guy is a guy called Joe Exotic. Then you've got a guy called, I think his name's Doc Handle or something, and then a lady in it called Carol Baskin. Now, all three have something in common, which is that they all own zoos. The first guy, Joe, he is obsessed with tigers, loves them. The second guy, Doc, I think the same, but his zoo is a little bit more expanded. And then you got the lady Carol, who's actually meant to be like an animal rights activist, who is against the other two, particularly the first guy called Joe. And they're all a bit weird. For example, when you watch the first episode, it sort of seems kind of normal until it gets towards the end, and you see this guy Joe's sort of love for weapons. And like, I'm not just talking about like little pistols, like being in America, set in Oklahoma. I think obviously there the gun laws are quite relaxed. And this guy's got military grade weapons. So his two loves in life, main loves, are tigers and weapons. And it's not until you get to the end of that first episode you start thinking, oh yeah, this is now getting odd. But as it sort of develops and goes on, you just go down a wormhole of weirdness. That's how I would describe it. Don't you think, Joe?
Yeah, absolutely. It is the characters they're interesting because they clash in terms of their ultimately probably their aspirations are the same. Ultimately to have a wildlife park or a big tiger park or however you describe it, but to have basically animals on show and to profit from it, really. But ultimately, it's interesting delving into the characters and actually what drives them and the subplots and the sub-stories to each of these characters and their relationship with each other. It is, it's engrossing, and it does capture you, and you do buy into all the characters, I think, at different points and feel sympathy for them all and feel probably anger or hatred with them all at different points. And it's clever editing. It's cleverly designed in that way. Actually, one thing which was really left questioning, besides some of the obvious things, was really about the psychology of some of these individuals. You know, actually what they went through in their lives to get them to this point. Because you look at these people and you think people are not necessarily born this way. This is not nature, their behavior. This is nurture, actually. What has driven them to behave in this way?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the first guy, the main guy, Joe, he pretty much says himself that he's gay, and that the sort of family he came from, which were, from what I understand, quite conservative and sort of, that type of family where maybe being gay probably wasn't really to start with. I don't know, maybe they just didn't approve. You don't hear too much about his younger life. He doesn't really touch on it that much, but you can tell that there's some sort of psychological damage there. Even, I don't know, even just the way he's, I think is he addicted to drugs as well, or was addicted to drugs? Was it meth or something? He was, and even I was watching one clip which left me absolutely flabbergasted. So he married more than one man, but he was sort of telling us the way he, in a way, made one of these guys think they were actually gay when they weren't. And it turns out that all the men he married were never gay to start with. They just said they were. And I just couldn't really understand the whole thing behind it. It was just a bit odd in the sense that he would just shower them with gifts and they would just sort of play along with it. It's just bizarre, don't you think?
It is. I think it is. And it's very much a documentary or a docuseries based around manipulation and how different people are manipulating not only other people, but actually, you know, in its very essence, manipulating animals, you know, and manipulating situations in order to profit, you know, however that might be. And basically all these people, by having these zoos, essentially is saying, let me buy your love, let me buy your attention by me having these pets and animals, and let me entice you in and get the attention that I crave. You know, through the use of having something that other people don't have, and in this case, it's big cats.
The one thing that kind of, I probably shouldn't have laughed at it because it was quite a serious thing, but I kind of did. So one of the people that worked for him, she got mauled by a tiger. I think she lost her hand. So anyway, this incident happened. There was people already in the zoo. So this Joe guy, he's gone into the gift shop and he said to them, guys, I need to let you all know, one of our handlers, one of our tiger handlers, that their arm bitten off. And then he's followed that up with, oh, but don't worry, you guys can have a discount on your next visit. I was like, what the hell is that about? And then they speak to this lady who had her arm sort of eaten off by the tiger, and in hospital she was given an option. They said, look, you got two options. Number one, we amputate your hand or your arm, or number two, it's going to take 2 years of reconstruction surgery. And she said, no, just cut my hand off. I'm just like, hold on a minute. They've given you a chance for reconstruction. You could have your hand back, but you'll just say, no, I'll have it cut off. Like, it's just bananas. The whole thing's fucking crazy. I don't think. It's stuff like that. It's makes you think, as you said, how do these people exist?
No, absolutely. And well, like if you've got access to, I believe you can find it on Netflix. If you've got access to Netflix, you know.
Netflix.
We both recommend it.
Yeah, I think it's just on Netflix. It's just on Netflix, I think.
Well, it is trending. It's trending at the moment. You know, it's gone viral in terms of you know, its popularity, and
some new criminal cases have been opened and stuff about it. It's opened up some new criminal cases, and I've been reading a lot about it. But that's one thing to watch.
No, definitely.
Got, a few days.
One big thing that I've found quite enjoyable is actually a bit of video conferencing, video calling. There's a few different mediums I've been using.
Yeah,
I've
great.
done a few video quizzes with friends and family, and a few different apps I think I've used so far. Skype, some of the obviously more famous ones like Skype, WhatsApp, Instagram video. Also, a couple Zoom video conferencing has been used in order to have multiple people all on one screen in order to have a bit of a conversation, catch up, quiz.
That's actually what we're doing right now. We're zooming the podcast.
And another one as well, where there was some supposed vicious rumors going around about an app called House Party. But my personal experience of House Party has been pretty good so far. I've used it. There's some great quizzes to be done on there. You can do with multiple people from different locations or all video chatting at the same time. So House Party is another one that I found very good. But of course, like with all of these applications, we can neither confirm or indeed endorse any in particular. Your passwords, your safety, your information is at your own risk. So please pick your password carefully. Don't share your password with anyone. And keep that password in self-isolation. But yes, I would say video conferencing, calling, quizzes, catch-ups, virtual beers are all really good ways of keeping in touch with people, and it could be good fun and the closest that most of us are going to get to actually social interaction at this time. So that's one thing that I've been doing, which I found has been quite useful.
Good. So we'll finish up quite soon. I think we've chewed the listeners' ears off quite a bit. One final question for you, Joe. And I like saying questions like this because I feel like it pokes the bear a little bit. I like getting you into a corner where it's just like, I'll ask you a question and then you give me like your full answer and you don't care. You say what you want. So here it goes.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
You ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
All right. And no holds barred. All right. I just want the full truth. All right. Just don't worry about whatever. Just say what you got to say. All right. So here it comes. What or who are you annoyed with at most during this time?
I am incredibly annoyed with people. People are the worst, okay? So let me just tell you that right now. I have a good friend of mine. He is, we're a mutual friend of ours, actually, police, involved in the police.
Okay.
And he is telling me, even up until this point, there are still idiots, morons, okay, who are meeting up and enjoying the sunshine, enjoying the good weather when we are living through a pandemic. Everybody's telling us, government are telling us, NHS are telling us, but anyone who's with any kind of brain cell is telling us, avoid social interaction. Stay 2 meters apart. Don't leave your house, and it's absolutely necessary. Yes, maybe go for some exercise, but do it on your own. And you've got people who are meeting up in parks to play football matches. You've got people going out for picnics. You have got people who are meeting up in all different areas in different ways and interacting with each other when we have got a pandemic that is killing literally thousands of people every single day. So you want to know what is annoying me the most? People are annoying me. Okay. Let me add a caveat to that there are plenty of people that are absolutely amazing at this time. So key workers, NHS workers, and like we've said, emergency services, the police. There are so many people, and actually, let me say, the majority of people are on board. The majority of people are behaving in a way that they should be behaving, keeping that social distance, only leaving the house when they should, and respecting the fact that people are dying. Okay, and the only way that we're going to stop this, or the only way that we're going to help this, is by stopping the virus from spreading. So keeping that distance. So the majority of people are actually doing a good job. The issue I have is with the minority who are giving a bad name to the rest of us. Okay. And acting like fools. So, Jake, I got it off my chest now. Thanks for giving me the forum to do that. I do have a question for you as well. One last question, if that's okay.
Go on.
Okay, so what is the one thing that you are looking forward to the most once this is all over?
Probably be quite an underwhelming answer. So it's going to be hard for me to follow up your massive tirade there, which was both informative and entertaining, I may add.
Oh, thank you.
Just getting back to normal, mate. Just getting back to normal, being able to do what I've got to do. Life going back to how it was.
No, that is a cop-out answer. That is a lovely answer, but it's a cop-out. I want to know the one thing that you can't do now. I want to know because I want you to narrow it down to one thing. I'm going to tell you, okay? So for me, I'm going to see my family. Once I've done that, I'm going to go and have a big, fat, juicy Five Guys burger, okay? That is the one thing that I'm looking forward to the most that I can't do now, okay? I want to know from you.
Okay, so let's see then. Like you, it'll be definitely going to see my loved ones who I'm not seeing now, so mainly my partner. Definitely, I would say I think I'm looking forward to going on a holiday.
Okay.
We have Vegas booked for her birthday. I don't know. That's looking a bit dicey at the moment. That's in October. I mean, I'm hoping it's going to be okay. Fingers crossed. But yeah, definitely looking forward to going away. Oh, but yeah. But then there's other stuff as well, though. Oh, now you've really opened it up.
Tell me.
I cannot wait to go into an establishment, sit down. The person working there comes up to me and says, "Can I start your office and start us some drinks?" I can't wait for that. I can't wait to be at a restaurant and be, oh yeah, I can order
what are you going to order, Jake?
I don't have to keep eating the same food at a supermarket.
What are you going to order? What's that meal?
It changes. It changes daily. I may, and I think you should come to this too. I think we should go and do the Big Easy brunch at the Big Easy in one of the London spots. That's 2 full hours of all-you-can-eat barbecue food. How does that sound, Joey?
I'm sold. I mean, I'm imagining having that meal right now, sitting right beside you, sharing a fork because, you know, we're talking about a time here where people can touch the same stuff. And I'm looking forward to potentially...
We don't have to do that.
Well, potentially even eat, me feeding you and you feeding me in a really kind of romantic yet kind of sadistic kind of way. You know, I'm imagining all of that, and I'm salivating right now, Jake. The thought of you feeding me barbecue pork ribs. Yeah. Feed me, baby.
Will our respective partners be there? Because that may cause an awkward situation.
I think choice is key. We can tell them that they're very welcome to come. We can tell them that me and you are going to be having some kind of emotional, slightly romantic eating fiesta.
Feeding
ritual. I like that. Yeah, it will be a feeding ritual taking place.
Ritual. Yeah.
And if they're willing to,
I actually said sensual, but we'll go with ritual.
If they're willing to witness that and have it burned into their memory, then they can come. If not, they can just watch the video afterwards.
May I also say, in this particular establishment, the food is served on a bin lid. That's how much food there is. A bin lid.
Wow. Are you talking like 1990s dumpster type bin lid? Like, you know,
I'm talking
the
like
metal.
The metal. Oscar the Grouch. Yeah. You know, like Oscar the Grouch from like Sesame Street. Remember him?
Like the lid from basically, a trash can.
Yeah. Yes, mate. Yeah. So basically, your food is going to be served up on Oscar the Grouch's roof.
That sounds quite immense. I want to be there with you.
And for the price you pay for that, you also get a jug of beer, or a bottle of prosecco, or a jug of margarita, whatever takes your fancy. So yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Eating, getting merry, having a drink, having some food, having that social interaction. Jake, you couldn't have answered that better.
All my loved ones with me. I know. I'm quite the speaker in some ways. Anyways, should we wrap it up here, Joey?
I think we should. My advice to everyone is always wrap it up. Yeah. So, you know,
absolutely awful.
If we're living on that advice, now's a good time to wrap it up.
Yeah. Yep. Always. Jesus Christ. Right, guys. I've been Jake. This has been You're not going to say your name?
Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah, I'm Joe. Yeah, sorry.
No. Oh, actually, fair, we didn't really rehearse this bit, so that's probably why I went wrong. Anyway,
Yeah.
it is the pilot, so, you know, give us a chance to polish it. Yeah, thank you for tuning in if you have done. We'll let you know if we're going to have any socials set up for it, any Twitter, any Instagram, any emails. You know, tell us you like it or you hate it. But be nice, though, because I take criticism not so well, and I'm quite a delicate flower. Joe, I don't know about, but maybe,
Well,
I will not respond well to it.
No,
Anyway,
absolutely. I think social interaction would be great. It'd be great to hear from you. And also, as the series develops, it'd be great to hear from our listeners on what they want to hear us speak about. You know, if there's things that they're going through, points in their life, and, you know, they want some advice, or if we can offer some expertise through us, or indeed the people, like you said, that we're going to get on the show that maybe will give some advice and support. You know, it'd be great to hear from our listeners. So you will help us deliver this content and create this content, and we look forward to having that interaction with you.
Okay, great, Joe. So thanks for tuning in. This has been the podcast about everything. Hopefully do another episode soon. See you later, guys.
See you later.